I'm standing on a beach in the middle of nowhere, and I'm looking at footprints. That belong to something twice the size of any man I've ever seen. My hand barely covers the heel. They say giants are myths, legends told to scare children. But tell me, what made these? Day 156 since we left Spain. 5 months at sea. 15,000 miles sailed. We've crossed the Atlantic, hugged the coast of Brazil, pushed south into waters no European has ever charted. We're searching for it. The passage. The strait that connects the Atlantic to the other ocean. But so far, nothing. Just endless coastline, endless cold, endless frustration. We're down to 4 ships now. The Santiago was lost in a storm 2 weeks ago. My captains are getting restless. The men whisper mutiny. So yesterday I made a decision. We drop anchor here. Port San Julian, a desolate bay, freezing winds, gray skies. But we need rest, repairs, fresh water. Winter is coming to this cursed land. We'll wait it out, rebuild our strength. And then we sail south again. What was the plan? Until this morning, dawn, January 13th. I sent a shore party to scout for fresh water. 20 men, armed but relaxed. What danger could there be? This place looks abandoned. 2 hours later, they came running back, out of breath, eyes wide, faces pale. "Captain General," they said, "you need to see this." So I went. At first, I saw nothing unusual. Sand, rocks, sparse vegetation. Then, one of my men pointed. "There, sir. Look, footprints. Leading from the tree line, down to the water, and back again. But not normal footprints. These were massive. I placed my boot inside one. It was like a child's shoe inside a giant's. 18 inches long, maybe more. The stride between steps, 6 feet apart. Whatever made these tracks was at least 9 or 10 feet tall. "They're fresh," my navigator said, "made within the hour," which meant whatever made them was still nearby. We stood there, 20 armed men, all of us staring at those tracks. And for the first time in months, I felt something I haven't felt since childhood. Fear. Not fear of death. I've faced that before. Fear of the unknown. Then we heard it. Movement. In the trees. Something big, coming toward us. "Weapons ready," I ordered. Crossbows raised, swords drawn. The rustling got closer, louder. And then, he stepped out. A man, if you can call him that. Taller than any human I've ever seen. 9 feet, maybe 10. Broad shoulders, massive chest, arms like tree trunks. He wore animal skins. His hair was long and wild. His face, not monstrous, just scaled up. A giant version of a normal man. He stared at us. We stared at him. Nobody moved. And then, he raised his hand. Not in threat, in greeting. My men were frozen. Some crossed themselves. Others whispered prayers. But I stepped forward. "Lower your weapons," I said. They thought I was insane. Maybe I was. But I've traveled the world, seen many peoples, many cultures, and I've learned this. Hostility breeds hostility. Curiosity might breed friendship. I walked toward him, slowly, hands open, no weapon. He watched me, calm, curious. When I got close enough, I realized just how enormous he was. I'm not a small man, 5'7", but next to him, I felt like a child. I pointed to myself. "Magellan." He tilted his head, didn't understand. So I tried something else. I pointed to the sky. then to myself, then to him. Universal language. We're all under the same sky. He seemed to understand. He pointed to himself and made a sound, deep, rumbling, like thunder from a human throat. My chronicler, Antonio Pigafetta, later wrote it down phonetically. Patagon, or something like it. And that's what we called them. The Patagonians, the people of the big feet. He gestured toward the forest. More of his people, a village perhaps. I gestured to my ships. We come from far away, across the great water. He nodded, seemed to understand, and then he smiled. A huge, gap-toothed smile. And in that moment, the fear vanished. Tonight, as I sit in my cabin, I can't stop thinking about what I saw. Giants, real, living. Giants. Not monsters from legends, not demons or devils, just people. Enormous people, but people nonetheless. Pigafetta has been sketching them all evening, measuring, documenting, writing descriptions. He estimates they stand between 9 and 11 feet tall. They live in small groups, hunt guanaco, survive this brutal cold. How is that even possible? How does a human grow to such a size? The men are terrified, amazed. Some think it's a miracle. Others think it's a curse, that this land is unnatural. We should leave, they whisper, before they attack us. But I don't think they will. The giant we met, he showed no aggression, only curiosity. We are the strange ones here. In their eyes, we are the monsters. Small, pale, arriving on floating mountains made of wood. Who has more reason to fear whom? Tomorrow, I'll try to establish trade. Friendship, perhaps. We have glass beads, metal tools, things they've never seen. Maybe we can help each other. Them, and the giants of Patagonia.
Magellan's encounter with the Patagonian people is one of the most famous episodes of his voyage. Antonio Pigafetta's account described them as giants, estimating their height at 9 to 10 feet. For centuries, Europeans believed Patagonia was inhabited by a race of giant humans. Modern anthropology tells a different story. The Tehuelche people, the likely inhabitants Magellan encountered, were indeed tall, averaging 6 to 6.5 feet, significantly taller than 16th century Europeans, who averaged around 5 feet 4 inches. To Magellan's crew, they would have appeared enormous. The name Patagonia comes from this encounter, from the Spanish Patagon, meaning Bigfoot, the land of giants, a myth based on a grain of truth. The Tehuelche people survived into the 20th century, but European colonization nearly destroyed them. Today, very few remain. Magellan didn't know it then, but he was witnessing a culture that would soon vanish forever.
Next time on the Voyage Diaries. Day 168. Mutiny. My captains turn against me. 3 of my captains plot to kill me. And I must decide, show mercy, or show them what happens to traitors. Subscribe to the Voyage Diaries, new episodes every Wednesday and Saturday. The impossible journey continues.